Hello, everybody, and welcome to this part of our podcast. We have two of our first master, right? First master students. We had our second master students last time, and we talked about, well, how is the masters? How did they get into it? What are the properties? What are the specifications, and so on. So this time we're gonna see it from the eyes of Rohan and Seif. So guys, I would like you to start introducing yourselves. Yeah, go on.
Okay, Rohan, go ahead.
Okay, hello everyone. I am Rohan Sharma from India. So I have a background in engineering physics, a bachelor's degree from Delhi Technological University in India. And so during my bachelor's, I I studied engineering, like electronics, computer science, all sorts of that. And then my thesis was on design of an optical waveguide for mid-infrared supercontinuum generation. So it's a non-linear optical effect. And during my bachelor's, I realized that, oh, I love working with lasers. I love optical engineering. And that's why I decided to pursue a master's in photonics.
Yeah, that's great. How about you, Seif?
As for me, like I'm Seif. I come from Egypt. I have graduated from Zuwail City of Science and Technology. It's a university based in Egypt. And like my concentration was in electronics. And like I had some electives from photonics. So in our university, we have different concentrations within like the VLSI concentration and the photonics and the MEMS. And like I had some electives from photonics and some and like my main concentration was electronics and I found that I'm like I have a lot of passion for it and I was interested in the field in general. My thesis was more electronics oriented, but like this is normal because of the concentration. But then I came here and and yeah, so basically yeah, that's
Yeah. So you guys both had some experience with photonics before choosing it for your masters. That's great to hear. A lot of people don't get that, but yeah, one of the points that a lot of people can really access to get information about photonics would be these programs that we are trying to record and stream it on YouTube and give access to a lot of people so that they know what photonics is, what it is about, what our program is about. So you guys had your bachelor's in your engineering fields, and then you were in the last year. You wanted to continue to a master's.
Yeah.
What did you do? Like, what was the process of application? Were you looking for many universities, many different programs, many different fields, or was the photonics the only one? How did you come to know about MSPE and these kind of things? So please, Rohan.
Thank you. So when I was finishing my third year of engineering, I went on a summer research fellowship at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, where I worked on designing an assembly of a non-linear multimodal microscope. And during the 3-year fellowship, I I I operated on lasers, and we made the whole thing on an optical bench from zero, and it was uh, there was lasers and there was cameras, and we made the whole setup on the bench from nothing, and that made me fall into love with what we do. It was a total hands-on experience, and during when we were developing it, we realized what impact this machine can have on society. We could detect cancers and like lots of stuff. It's basically a microscopy device, but it has more um, information gathering capacity than a conventional microscope. So that's where I learned about photonics and engineering, and I decided, okay, I want to pursue this as a career. And the photonics industry in India, it's emerging. It's catching up to the semiconductor industry. So I realized, okay, a master's abroad will be a good option. And I talked about like pursuing a master's in photonics with my friends, colleagues, professors, and I actually found a professor in the IIT where I did my fellowship, and he is an alumni of this program. So he was like, "Okay, Rohan, go for it."
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have international alumni everywhere, it seems.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about you, Seif?
As for me, like I also asked a lot of like professors, and I was like, so like I wanted to work in either like device physics and stuff like this, or photonics. These were like the main parts that were like interesting to me to pursue a career in. But I wanted master. Like I didn't want to start a PhD like just that. I wanted to pursue a master. And yes, and therefore, like I started like applying for a couple of universities, asking around, and like my university has some relations with VUB. Like we are having now a joint program where a student from our university can take the first year of the master in Zoel City, and then come to Belgium and take the second year in VUB. So like there was a lot of like it's very famous around. So yes, so like I said, like yeah, I would apply for this definitely.
That's
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and yes, this is like how it happened in a way. Yeah, and yeah, I guess.
And I know a couple of really famous and well-known programs. But what made you make this decision to come to B-PHOT and to Ghent? Like this program is for both universities, it's an inter-university program. What made you think that this program is the choice for you? Why didn't you go to, for instance, Germany? Why didn't you go to Spain? Why here?
To be honest, I would say Belgium is a very interesting country. To be honest, and like Brussels is very international. Like I knew about this, but I didn't like I didn't know how it is. But like I came even in the Corona, I
Yeah,
met a lot of people, like a lot of like people from all over the world, and like
yeah,
wow, and like Arabs and non-Arabs, and
yeah,
yeah, it's very interesting being like in a round table, for example, having dinner, and around you like there is someone from here, someone from India, someone from Belgium, someone from like Jordan, someone
yeah.
from it's very interesting. So yeah, it's very international. Brussels, shit, I love
Yeah.
Brussels, to be honest.
How
Uh,
about the program?
um, the program, I guess, also the program is very, let's say, like I've reviewed the courses
Yeah,
uh, before of course I apply, and like I like read some like of the profiles of the professors and stuff, and I found it very interesting. I found it like suitable for me to apply. So like
yeah,
when I was offered, and also the scholarship, uh,
yeah,
it was a game changer. So like when I was offered the scholarship, it was yeah, it was a
yeah.
real changer of the game. Let's say. How about you, Rohan?
Yeah, that's true. And okay, to be honest, I don't know how to speak German, so Germany was off the list for me. And I realized that a lot of people in Brussels speak English, so that was a big point. And Brussels being like somewhat a center of Europe, and it's very well connected to the UK, very well connected to all the European countries. So that made it kind of a hotspot for pursuing a course in engineering. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, a very important point that Saif mentioned is that our program is one of the only ones that offers scholarships. And as you said, both our program is based in Ghent and Brussels, both in Belgium, very well connected to everywhere in the world. You are just one flight away from anywhere you want to collaborate, to go to exchanges, to internships. That's very important. Thank you for pointing these out. But a very important question is, how did you hear about the scholarships? Was it before you applied, or during the application process, or somebody told you about it? What happened?
Um, as for me, some like a lot of guys told me about it. Like I have a friend in year one, Ahmed
Yeah,
Fawzi Qandil,
yeah,
and like Ahmed Fawzi Qandil, he made me know Ahmed Hisham, the one he was in the podcast, the previous podcast. So like
yeah.
I had the connections in like the VB. So like yeah, they told me like why not apply, and like there are scholarships there, even full scholarships, and it's good. So like yes, yeah, I'm in, yeah,
Yeah. Well,
yeah, yeah,
who doesn't like money? Let's be
yeah.
honest.
And like in the start of your career, you wouldn't care about like money, like saving or something, but you want like my like I'm like I don't know, I'm not rich like in Egypt, like the GT, like I'm not like extremely rich in Egypt, so like I wouldn't afford a master in Europe.
Yeah.
Uh, so like I wanted a scholarship that makes me able to afford this master. I don't want to pressure my family back there. They have enough pressures on them already.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
important.
so a scholarship is a real game changer. I wouldn't have traveled at all if there was like no program like this. So like really
Yeah.
grateful to the like
How about you,
opportunity.
Rohan?
Yeah. Well, I knew about the scholarships before applying because I was looking for photonics courses everywhere,
Yeah.
and I really got good reviews about this program from everyone with whom I talked. So and after reviewing the course, I really loved it, and everything felt just right to me,
Yeah.
and so I applied. And yeah, regarding the scholarships, that was like the best thing ever. And yeah,
But how
because
did you come to know about it? You just read it online, like in the searches, it came up. Oh, okay, there is a program in Brussels and Ghent called MSPE, and they have scholarships. Is it like that, or?
okay, so when I was in the application phase, I was attending a few conferences.
Uh-huh.
And at these conferences, I met a professor with whom I connected really well. And I checked that, oh, he has studied photonics in the same program.
All
And
right.
and then I approached him like more.
All
So
right.
yeah, that was the selling point for me.
Yeah. So in both cases, it happened like as a word of mouth. Somebody told you rather than seeing it somewhere. All right, that's great. But a lot of people come to see these podcasts, or to listen to them to know about the process, you know. So it's very much more, let's say, uh, fulfilling, or they feel calmer if they know what's going to happen from somebody who did it and is sitting behind your desks, as students in this program. So could you please tell me about the things you did? Like, so you finish your studies, you filled in an application. What happened? How did it happen?
Go first, Rohan.
Okay, so when I was applying to different schools, okay, first I would like to clarify that the application process for EMSP is the simplest amongst all the applications. It's just one form that you have to fill, and you can look at it one day and just note down all the things that you have to put in the form, and then submit it on, say, the third day or the fourth day after you have accumulated everything. So it's the most simplest process. Secondly, when I was applying, I did the same. I note down all the things that are required: the cover letter, the reference letters, and all those things. The language certificate, because I'm from India, and passport and everything. And I made a list and I accumulated everything. And on day 5, I just uploaded everything as per the application. So yeah.
Like for me, mostly I overthink details, but it's really a simple one. Like you can go to other websites and you see like they require maybe sometimes strange documents. Like you don't know why I would like to supply this document or
Yeah,
something.
you don't even
But
know what it is, and there is no
yeah,
help, right?
exactly. So like it was really easy. Like you had to fill like your name, your stuff, like your ID and stuff, and then you have to put like the uh like the recommendation letters, like two if you have more, that's good. If like you have to write an SOP, like a statement of purpose. And like some like small like a language certificate. Of course, I come from Egypt, so I need one. And like there's this thing, like I didn't apply after I finished graduation. I actually, like the second I graduated, I was like one week away from the flight to Brussels. So like I started the application a bit early, because like you have to I guess Rohan, it's the same for you, right? Like
Yes, I did start my application in January, and I submitted it in January itself.
I actually submitted after you, like I guess in the end of February or the start of March, like I guess before the deadline. Very like it was a very like
Close to
yeah,
the deadline.
yeah, really.
But what you said is very important in the case of it being simple, firstly. So nobody gets confused that, okay, for the SOP, what should I upload? No, everybody knows what SOP is, what CV is, recommendation, and so on. Everybody knows their names,
Yeah, exactly,
hopefully.
exactly.
Um, but a very important note here is that you don't have to have the language certificate at the moment of application. It's very important. Like a lot of people have limitations, and I don't know, they book their language certificate exam late and so on. So it's very important. You don't need it. You just fill in your
Yeah,
application with the information you have. You both were in your final semester, so you don't even have to have your graduation certificate or
exactly,
final transcript
exactly.
of records or anything, legalized documents. No, you just put everything in the application, you upload it, and they will reach out to you to talk to you. It's very important. A lot of applications don't even care who submitted the application. They just look at the papers and decide. But it's very important that in our program, they will actually reach out, see you, talk to you, and
Exactly.
then you can later on provide your finalized documents and so on. It's very important. So you did your application, then what happened? How did they reach out to you?
You get an email, like they tell you like we have reviewed your documents and you're like you'll have an interview, and then a professor contacts you, tells you like agrees with you on a specific date,
Yeah,
like it's not like come at this moment at this time, like is it okay with you? They're
yeah,
really nice. I love this, the culture in Belgium is really nice about that. And like you go in the specific time and they start asking you some technical questions. Actually not extremely hard. Like even like they had some physics related questions regarding like basics, Maxwell's equations, stuff like that.
yeah,
Nothing so intense. If you have like studied, have a good background.
yeah,
And actually there's this thing, if your background is physics, not only engineering, there is physics, engineering, physics, electronics,
yeah,
uh, all kinds of backgrounds that involves like a good physics background and maybe slight engineering, maybe not,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you'll get to learn, yeah. And it's really enriching to be with such like a
yeah.
group. It's very interesting.
Was that the case for you, Rohan, also?
Yes, exactly the same. We set up an interview, and the professor welcomed me.
Yeah,
She was very nice, and she asked about my background, and then we had some technical interview. In no point during the interview, I felt that I was being tested. It was
yeah,
like a conversation. So
yeah,
she was asking me, "Oh, do you know about Maxwell's equations?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, I have studied this in my third semester." And then I told
yeah,
her, "This is what I know."
yeah,
And in no point I was feeling pressured that it's a technical interview and I have to get all the questions right. It was
yeah.
Yes, it was very free and open.
Yeah, again, very important that you don't need to answer all the questions. Like some people reach out to me and say, okay, I answered this many questions and I didn't answer these questions. Will I pass or will I fail? And I'm always like, firstly, it's a comparison. Nobody cares how many questions you answer and nobody can say anything. Some people answer them well, some people answer them, worse. But yeah, in the end, it's a comparison. You get grades and then you're ranked. Um, but again, it's very, very important that it covers a lot of ground. So
Yeah,
it's not only photonics, it's not only physics, it's not engineering. So they try to cover everything so that people from different backgrounds can actually show what they know. Um, but then, so you made your first interview and you answered some questions, some not. You did your best. It was a conversational, very, very smooth interview for you guys. Then what happened afterwards? What did they tell you?
yeah.
How did you get the news?
Yeah, like there is this thing I don't like for the people who are watching us who don't know like the regulations, like you pass through three interviews. Two like if you need a scholarship, you pass through three interviews. One of them is like the initial one. This is the one we're talking about. Then you will have like an interview for the scholarship if you need a scholarship. And then there is the third interview, which is not technical, but it's basically about uh, like how open you are to the community, how like stuff like that.
And
They
your
need
motivation.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Your motivation and like the fact that you work in a diverse community. How do you receive this? How do you find this? So like once the actually like I had the response. It was quite fast. My interviewer in the first interview was Professor Jürgen van Erps.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's really nice. And then like he told me like a professor would contact you for the second interview, and Professor Thomas Giernert contacted me for the scholarship interview. That one was was quite something. It was intense.
Yeah.
He more or less like he would ask you more or less the same questions, but he would get into detail because he wants to make sure of your technical knowledge that it's really good, and like he would cover a broader spectrum to see how like your education, your background, and also like I in the second interview I didn't answer like in the first interview the questions were mostly easy, but in the second one I didn't like I wouldn't say I answered all the questions. There were
Yeah.
some ones that were really challenging.
Yeah.
Uh,
Something I want to point out here is that you see some pattern in what we are talking about, but it's not like that. If you say Maxwell equations, all the people from around the world, like all the applicants, will get Maxwell equations. No, you have to prepare yourself enough for answering all the questions in your background. Yeah,
exactly.
nobody expects you to know about I don't know, data science as well as I don't know, your background in physics, for instance, for me. Um, and also, when you go from the first interview to the second interview, they are not the same questions, but they are from the same place. Nobody is
Yeah,
going to ask you to, I don't know, prove a very important theorem in basic physics. No, they're going to talk about what you expect a photonics group will ask you about, So I wanted just to point that out because some people might see a pattern and say, okay, I'm going to be asked about Maxwell equations for sure. I'm going
no,
to,
no. I had friends who were asked about the
yeah,
equations of motion. I had friends who were asked about different things.
yeah, yeah.
So like it's not like these questions you'll be asked.
Yeah,
Yeah, you might get asked about
yeah. I
anything.
don't want people to actually uh, see the pattern and go
Yeah,
places
yeah,
with it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Rohan? What happened afterwards for you? Like after the first interview, what did the interviewer ask you or tell you, or how did you get the news for the second interview?
So after the first interview, I got an email that we will we will let you know whether whether you're a suitable candidate for the program, and if you are, we will notify you for a second interview. And that second interview was for the scholarship. And through emails, all communications was taken place, and I was notified, and then the second interview took place.
All right. And for you also, the second interview was more in depth because it was for a scholarship. It needs to be more competitive, of course. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. So
I have a small question. Rohan, who did the scholarship interview to you?
The same as yours, Professor Girnard.
Everybody gets interviewed by the same person, and it's important and funny to know that from your year, the third interviews are happening. So before that, they didn't interview you about your personality, what you think, what you want to do, but it's a kind of human resources thing that started happening from your entry.
And it was very interesting, actually. Professor Natalie was the one to make the third interview, and she was really nice. And like by the end, she told me like, very well. I hope I see you in Brussels soon. And I was yeah, thanks.
You were very happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was really.
So after your second interview, firstly, from your first interview to the second one, how long did it take?
Not much. I would say a week. Less
A
than a
week
week.
for both of you.
For me, it was 2 weeks, but yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah. But they will reach out to you again, very friendly. They will ask you when you have time so that you have the interview then, right? That's very nice. Then afterwards, the second interview is done. Then what happens?
You go ahead, bro.
So after the second interview, there was a short interview, let's say, but I would consider it as a conversation where I was asked about my motivation for the course and why I need the scholarship. So more or less like human resources questions, but nothing technical. And it was very important for me as well to know my priorities. So and in the third interview, like I was told that okay, I will now be like seriously considered for the program, and yes, and within a few days I got the acceptance.
All right, and then it was in April. Is that correct?
Yes, that
like
is
already after the deadline, because your process got after the deadline.
Yes, I got it in the first week of April.
All right.
No,
So
I
how
don't
about you,
remember
Seif?
exactly. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly which week I got the acceptance, but yeah, it's more or less the same. But there is this thing also, they wanted to make sure that you are open to work. Like she told me, like for example, Professor Natalie told me something like, are you open to work in a diverse group? Yeah, we're men and women and other genders working together. You have like to be open to this. Are you open to this? No, she doesn't say you have to be. Like she asks you, just are you open to this? I say yes, I'm open to this. Brussels is a very international city. How do you think about this? I'm coming for this actually. Like it's a very I want an international city. So these all like all of these were like important in the interview to be considered. And yes, I guess yes, that's it. And I don't remember when I got the acceptance, but I believe it wasn't. It didn't take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like for
After
me.
the third interview.
What?
After the third interview, it didn't take a lot of time for them to get
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to you.
As far as I remember, it didn't take a lot of time.
But you said that you applied in late March,
Yeah,
or
something like this. March, February. I don't. I, like my memory with the dates.
yeah.
It's
After you
not.
got the money, you don't have any memory left. All right. So you got you got your acceptance as well as your scholarship, and now they told you that okay, you guys are the fit for us. then what happened? Then what did you have to do? Did you have to submit an application to the university? Because the main application that we talked about is really simple and so on, is from the program, and the program is from both UGent and VUB. At what point exactly, firstly, let's discuss that. At what point did you choose to come to VUB?
I guess like it depends on like I don't know. When I applied, I didn't know which university I will get interviewed with. But then VUB like sent me, so I was okay. I guess like the choices from like the point you apply, someone will contact you because I guess it's based on seats and places and like it's I guess the process is more complicated than this. So like when you would get an email, so like for example, some of my friends they applied, they got an interview from a Ghent professor. Me, I applied, I got an interview from a VB professor. I guess.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with me. I got a response from a professor at VUB, and later in the interviews, I was asked to pick a university. So I asked, okay, what is the difference between VUB and Ghent? But since the curriculum is the same, the subjects I will be studying will be the same. So I decided to go with VUB.
Yeah. So it's very important that, okay, it's correct that it's a shared program, but then you have to be registered in one of the universities. You cannot be in between universities. So finally, your certificate will be from both universities. As Rohan said, the curriculum is the same for both universities. And in the end, if you don't have a scholarship, you are not obliged to stay at your university. You can actually have your thesis at UGent or at VUB as you want, or even go abroad for it. So these are very, very important to note because at the point in your application process, you will have to make a decision between the two universities to register, but it's not going to make a lot of difference. It's the same program and you're going to learn the same stuff, right?
And actually, there are courses that you can take from UGent when you're in VUB, and the same were in UGent. So, like for
Yeah,
example, I was taking in the first semester a course like diffractive and refractive imaging systems. We had a lot of students from UGent.
yeah,
There is this semester the photonic integrated circuits course as elective. A lot of my colleagues are taking it.
yeah,
I'm taking another course, but yeah,
yeah,
so it's you can take courses from here and there, but your main affiliation is with the VUB.
yeah. So you have some courses that are mandatory for you. They are both in Ghent and VUB. So here, some professor will teach you that course. Some professor will do it at Ghent, like for instance, microphotonics. But then, as Seif said, there are some elective courses that might happen in UGent because UGent is, for instance, good in silicon photonics. But then, for instance, something else, for instance, biosensors and so on, will happen here at VUB. Not that one place is better than the other, or is that they have the specialty there, you know? So it's again, doesn't matter where you are exactly, it's the same program. But then after, it's also very, very good to know that um, you have to make this decision, I think, after your first interview. So it's not like you can wait to see if you get the scholarship or not, and then I will apply for the university. No, this is early in the application process that you have to make the decision. So yeah, just heads up for that. But then um, you actually apply to the university and you get your admission from the university as soon as they have all your documents and they do the process of admitting you. Um, finally, you get the admission letter. Um, then what do you do?
Okay.
I'll start. After we get the admission letter, the certificate, we start gathering documents required for a visa, and
Yeah.
and that's a long list of documents. You need a medical certificate, you need a police verification certificate, if
Yeah.
yeah, and and a lot more. So during our application time, we were having the COVID pandemic lockdown.
Yeah.
So I was I had an issue with the police verification, which delayed my visa
Oh.
by almost like 5 6 months. So
Oh.
yeah, and that's why I couldn't arrive in Brussels in September, which
That's
I
why
had
Rohan is a gangster. All right.
which I
Uh-huh.
originally planned, but I came here in January instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, but if there were no COVID, I'm sure I would have arrived here like at the planned time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the case for Rohan from India, but how about say from Egypt?
I actually I arrived much earlier. There was the COVID was out there, but the embassy was working.
Yeah.
They worked through a third party office
Yeah.
where you would apply your documents and stuff. And like I had this journey, but you get introduced to Majori who would help you with a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
She sent me the admission letter, and then you get to ask like, is this enough? I want you get there's a lot of other stuff, and like I had my graduation certificate is the one that got delayed.
Yeah.
So I had to wait a lot as well. And once I got it, I had already the other documents
Yeah.
prepared. It's more or less the same. It's the same actually. It's not more or less. It is the
Yeah.
same amount of documents. And then you just apply them and like it's like and then the process goes. Actually, the embassy is really nice. Like the Belgian embassy in Egypt. They got me the papers done like very fast, which
Yeah.
is not normal for colleagues, for example, who are doing PhDs in America or something.
Yeah. Takes
Takes
a
That's
long time.
yeah, I got like 2 or 3 weeks till the visa got out.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I applied to the embassy and I got the visa in 3 weeks. And I applied for verification, police verification. I got it
yeah,
in 6 months.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's nice to note here that so you got your admission letter, you got your documents and so on. You go to the even sooner than that. You go to embassy's website in your city, in your country, and see if there's a third party or not first. If there is, you go to their website, or if not, then you check the embassy's website and see what visa you want to apply for and what are the requirements for it. After you see that, check it. Don't trust other people's sayings. There might be some small differences between them that might delay your visa process. Check them, prepare them. If you are not sure about something, email them. They will answer you very
Really
soon.
helpful. Really helpful.
Yeah, very helpful. So you got your visa. When were you guys in Belgium? When did you arrive?
I arrived on the 10th of October. This is the date I remember.
Yeah.
Uh,
All
uh,
right.
yeah, yeah. uh, it was like I was supposed to arrive a week earlier, but some stuff happened with the plane, and I had to arrive on the 10th.
Yeah.
And it was a very emotional day.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, your
Yeah. For
parents and
everybody,
your
exactly.
family. Yeah, and I have a fiance. Like I had to say goodbye, and
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
very sweet. How
yeah,
about you,
yeah.
Rohan? When
Yeah.
did you arrive?
I arrived in January and I arrived just like within 24 hours of my final exam. So
Oh,
yeah,
so um, it was a nice experience for both of you, both emotional and well, when you arrive here, it's a new experience, new culture, new country.
Yeah,
Very
actually,
nice.
actually,
Yeah.
like you meet all the guys online for so long, you're not sure if they really exist. Like we went, so like when I first got, like there were like Aladdin Jandoubi, Salma Nabilu, and Libin Matthew George from the program. They were already in Brussels, and like
Yeah,
they were gathering and studying in the I building near here
yeah,
in the VB. Like I went there just to make sure they're
they're
really,
real.
yeah,
You haven't
yeah, are they
dreamed
as
them.
tall as I expect? Yeah, stuff like this. Yeah, it was really
All
nice.
right. So let's carry on with the interview and ask about and sorry, discuss the scholarships because it's a very important part of this program. So both of you are scholarship recipients, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And what type?
For me, it's a full scholarship.
Yeah.
Not you, Rohan.
Yes, I do have the full scholarship of 10,000 euros for the academic year.
All right. So are there any other type of scholarships that you could go for? Do you know of any?
I guess there are partial scholarships. I guess there are scholarships given by institutes. Like I know. For example, I have a colleague who's taking a mastermind scholarship, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the not only the full scholarship, there are other ones. I guess the full scholarship is the one offered by B-PHOT in the VB. So this is what me and Rohan, I guess, are receiving.
Yeah. How about you, Rohan? Do you know of any other scholarships rather than this one
So
you're getting?
then there are European scholarships like Erasmus,
Hmm.
which students can get for this program. I'm not sure, but yes, and there are scholarship agencies in every country. So these are external institutions,
Yeah,
third-party institutions. But if you are um, so if you are a good student and you had a good track record, you
yeah,
can go to these institutes and you have to fill out a form to apply for these scholarships. And when they consider that your studying this course will benefit you and the entire okay, not the entire, but the scientific discipline,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
they may provide you a scholarship.
yeah. So it would be nice for our audience to know that, okay, we have internal scholarships as you guys have one. Um, so there is a B-PHOT, I think, B-PHOT VUB scholarship, which is worth 10,000 euros per academic year, as Rohan said. You are both the recipients of that scholarship. Then we have excellence scholarship, both here at VUB and at Ghent. So 5 scholarships for the B-PHOT VUB 10,000 euros scholarships, and then one excellence scholarship for the person who comes on top of everybody. So there is a ranking. They're going to score your interviews and what you say and what you think. And then like they have charts and so on. And then the person who is ranked first is going to get that scholarship to be supported financially. But as you said, there are external fundings as well. For instance, Mastermind, as Seif said, or other institutes, both in Europe or in your home countries, that you can actually reach out to and ask for financial support. Um, so this is on the financial side. There are different scholarships, of course, and you got to look for them if you want to apply for them. But these ones, did you apply for them separately, or were they a part of your main application? Did you have to say anything in your VUB application, or was it in the main application for the program?
So I was aware of the internal and external scholarships, but
Yeah,
when I was writing my cover letter, I made this clear that getting a scholarship is very important for me, because if I do not get the scholarship, I will not be able to study this course. And during the interviews as well, I made this clear that a scholarship is essential for me. Um, and once I got the news of the scholarship results, then I did not pursue the external scholarships. However, if needed, I could have approached the external institutions for the funding as well.
Yeah.
As for
Seif?
me, I don't remember, but I guess there was something in the application that you mentioned that you need a scholarship. But I was asked in the first interview if you need a scholarship, and I said yes. And I need it. I made it very clear that it's crucially important for me, scholarship. And then the professor said, okay, then you will have a scholarship interview and be prepared for it. And yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I wasn't at the time aware of a lot of external scholarships, but I was planning if I didn't get a scholarship from the VUB, I would apply for any scholarship that there
All
is.
right. Yeah. So I'm just reading some things from University of Ghent as well. So they have Ghent Photonics Excellence Scholarship grant, which is like our Excellence Scholarship. They have Ghent top-up grants between a lot of, I think, students. It's not only for the photonics program, so it's shared between different programs. And as we said, Flemish Mastermind scholarships that people might be interested in and want to look into. Are there any specific pre-requirements for the scholarships?
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
Just your academic knowledge, your background, I guess.
yeah. So it's nice to know that when you fill in the first application form, you say in it if you want a scholarship or not. And with that, you specify if you want to go to the second interview after the first one or not. And even if you don't specify that, later on you can just email them and say, okay, something has come up, and I want a second interview. So it is really open. Like you can actually interact with the admission committee and with the secretaries and say what you want to say. It's not one of those applications that you send an email and get an answer after 3 months. Um, so
I
there
would like
is,
to add something.
yeah, sure, please do.
So I should make this clear that when we commit to the scholarship, we make an agreement with the university that we will do our thesis at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
university.
Yeah,
So both Seif and I have made this agreement with VUB that we will
yeah,
be doing our final thesis at VUB.
yeah,
So this
yeah, yeah. That's like the agreement, but rather not the pre-requirement. Like for being considered for the scholarship, you don't have to have anything specific. You're just applying. There is no need to provide them anything. Um, but what does the scholarship include? Like when they say you get the full scholarship, does it mean that you don't have to pay tuition fees? Are they going to cover your travel expenses? How is it?
So you pay your flight normally. You pay your tuition fees. You pay the rent, but actually the money covers all of this, and like your expenses. You may even like go around. I haven't like there is no room for going around now,
In Corona
but you
times?
may.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also as I said, they don't pay you like for example your travel expenses, but for example, I didn't pay the visa expenses. I was sent an exemption from the visa expenses from the Belgian embassy.
yeah.
So yes,
That's around 200, I think,
yeah,
euros.
yeah, and it was really like it was a lot of money
Yeah,
in the Egyptian currency at least.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, so yes, this I was like this was something that I didn't expect, and I was really happy with. I was really grateful that I didn't add more pressures to my family, for example. So yes.
yeah,
and that is like totally the same case in my case. Yeah.
yeah. And then again about money. So you get
Yeah.
how much per month if you are willing to discuss that?
Like when you arrive, you get a bulk, like 2,500 euros, I guess,
Uh-huh.
to settle in. So, like for example, you need to buy insurance. You need to like pay the first. You pay some like money for like before, like in addition to your first rent,
Yeah, yeah.
you have
Deposit.
to.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, a deposit, yes. And you have to pay your tuition fees, a lot of stuff, and you have like if you're under 24, you can get the transportation card, all of these stuff, along with other stuff regarding like you get, like you're settling in a new place, you have to get like cooking utensils, stuff like
Yeah.
that. All of this, so like you get a bulk, and then it's distributed over the entire course of the 2 semesters. Where you get around 850 euros per month.
Yeah.
But then, like there are the last 2 months, the ones in the summer before the start of the next academic year, you
Yeah.
don't get money for this. So like the 10,000 is spread over all the months except the last 2 months of the year. But
Yeah.
you have money to pay for the rent and the other months and stuff.
Yeah.
Just don't go, just don't go spending around the money.
All the money. How about you,
Yeah.
Rohan? How do you get paid?
So I arrived in Brussels in January, and in my contract it was mentioned that the scholarship money will be provided to me till from the date I arrive in Brussels. So for me, it was supposed to be the installments of 800 euros for the month of January, February, and so on,
Yeah.
and I got some money. However, my housing rent as well as the advance was paid from the scholarship money that I have here. So
Uh-huh.
I only had to pay for tuition, and I did not have to pay for housing. That was
Yeah.
deducted internally from my scholarship account.
Yeah.
And yes,
But
so
but your case was a special case, right? Like because of all the problems, you had to arrive later, and because of that, you didn't get paid for the months that you were not here. So it's also important for people who want to follow the online track to
that
get
is
this
true.
scholarship. The year that you're staying home, you're not gonna get paid for it, but the second year that you're here, you're gonna get paid. So is the money that you're getting for both of you, is it enough? Like, does it cover all your costs of housing, insurance, groceries, transportation, everything?
So I am
Can
an
you save?
I am an Indian, and I don't have a very extravagant lifestyle. So
Yeah.
yeah, so 800 euros per month, and subtracting all the expenses, that comes about 500 euros, and I guess this is sufficient for my groceries and little outings. So
All right. So you save around half of the scholarship even,
not half, but
something short of half.
yeah, something short of half.
Yeah. How about you, save?
Okay, like my lifestyle, my food lifestyle, my diet is a bit extravagant because like all the Middle Eastern cuisine and the stuff.
Yeah.
But I would say more or less the same. Like you get to pay for the groceries, everything. If you're like getting a lot of food, a lot of stuff, like 200, 250 euros plus the rent. Then like after all, you'll find out that you don't actually pay a lot. You can save some, maybe like
You can save some.
200 euros a month, stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's important to
But
save, right? As you said, two
yeah,
months in the summer. That's
exactly.
also important. And how about the housing? For both of you, I think you live in VUB housing, but is it also a part of your scholarship, or is it separate? You have to pay for it. How did you get it?
Go ahead, Rohan.
So we were offered the option to take the VUB student housing or find an accommodation ourselves. I went for the VUB student housing because, as I said, that okay. First of all, I wanted to live in the VUB student housing, And second of all, because I was getting a scholarship, I felt that it will be more convenient to stay here. And then this is separate from the scholarships and separate from the university. You have a different agreement with the housing department.
Exactly.
And yeah.
Yeah, you have a contract with the housing stating everything, and like actually like there are a lot of, I would say, benefits to being in the student housing. First of all, I would like to clarify that as first year student, you have like let's say priority. They would prioritize you in the housing if you want to apply. If you want to stay outside, that's your preference. But I would say like the service is really good. The like you're living in the university, so you have a lot, like it's a really international scene, let's say. I have like three Belgian neighbors, one Belgian Italian and one Alaskan from America. And yes, so it's
Interesting.
really, yeah, really interesting, really diverse. I guess it's a, like it's like this with Brussels, like it's full of students.
Yeah.
The city very very
Yes, there
interesting,
are
and it's
many
actually
universities here. Yeah.
what?
There are many universities in Brussels alone. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of students, a lot of international people.
Yeah, I've heard a lot, around like 10,000 students, something like this in Brussels. Something I've heard the number, but I'm
I'm
not
not sure.
100%
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, so you get this funding. There are a lot of scholarships out there that requires you to work instead of the money that you're getting. Like for instance, be a research assistant, be a teacher's assistant, or I don't know, stay afterwards and work for us, or I don't know, contribute to the community of this or that. Uh, what's the catch here? Is there any catch for the money that they're providing you with?
not that I know of.
Any limitations?
No, like there are a lot of some Erasmus grants, for example, would require that you go back to your country, stay there for 2 years, stuff like that. There is nothing like this in
Yeah.
in uh, in the scholarship. Like it's really free. Like there is no any kind, like no kind of limitations that has been like that I have been exposed to. Say, what about
Yeah.
you?
There is one limitation, not limitation, one condition that comes to my mind is that you have to pass all your courses. So
Yeah, yeah.
if
This one is a bit
uh,
Yeah.
stressful to say in the first
yes,
semester, exactly. Because like yeah, like in the first semester it takes 7 courses. You have to complete a certain number of ECTs. So like 7 courses in the first semester, and that's heavy.
Yeah.
Like not all of them are like a walk around in the park. You get to say you get to have some optical materials and some lasers.
Yeah.
Like a lot, and the microphotonics, of course, the courses are a bit intense, so you get to be worried. But actually, like if you have like if you haven't passed the course, you would have a chance to retake it to retake the exam in the summer period.
Yeah.
So like as stressful as it is, there's still a room.
Yeah.
So like
They're gonna give you second chances.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, as well as there being some conditions for you to keep your funding for the second year, which is like passing all your courses, I don't think there is a specific GPA for that, right? They don't ask you to get above 14 to keep it. So as long
No,
as you
but there
pass
is a
all your uh-huh,
specific GPA, for example, having an international
mobility.
internship. Yeah,
Yeah.
international mobility. You need a specific GPA.
All right. But in the case of keeping your funding, it's all right. And
You just
then,
have to pass. Yeah,
yeah, you
just
just have
pass.
to pass. It's not easy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not as
Just
easy as it
pass it.
sounds, but still, you have to pass. And then uh, the people who are getting a scholarship from the certain university, be it VUB or Ghent, have to stay at their university for their thesis. They can do international internships. They can go abroad for an exchange semester and so on,
Yes, I
but they
guess I
have to
guess you,
stay for
Arash, you
their
have been
thesis.
in an exchange, right? Like
Yes, yes.
yeah, as
Yeah,
maybe
I went for both the international internship and the exchange program. It was a bit heavy. It was worth it.
Yeah,
I saw
because
both
like for the
France and
audience,
Sweden.
like they know we are students, but they don't know that you are as well a student. And yeah, and he takes really good notes like in the courses.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm also an alumni of this program, and that's why I care so much about it. That's why
Yeah,
you're all here. We care about our program because it gave us so much, and we have to give back, right?
yeah.
Um,
So,
so, so that's the only limitation. So we talked about exchange and international mobility. What's the story behind that, guys?
go
So,
ahead, Rohan, and,
the program offers international internships. That means you have to go to another country than Belgium to do internship for 2-3 months, and then yeah, so that's the hands-on experience that you get from the master course. Uh, and addition to that is that you have the option for an exchange or a semester abroad. That means you can go to another university, take a few courses there, and spend an entire semester at a foreign university, and then come back to VUB for your thesis. And that's basically an amazing feature. So
Oh,
if you're looking for a specialization, and you find that, oh, I see that there's this university in UK that offers this specialization, then you can go to this university, study a semester there, those subjects, and then these subjects will be counted as part of your master's degree at UB or UGent.
yeah,
So this is one feature which you don't find in any other master program, at least from what I have seen.
yeah. Saif, do you have anything to add to that?
I guess that's it. Yes, I
Yeah.
totally agree. Yeah.
But there are 2 points. Firstly, that if you don't get the scholarship, you don't have any limitations anymore. So if you want to do your thesis also abroad, you can of course do it. You can do 1 year abroad. So first year, they want you to stay here because you get the grounding and the basis in photonics. So you learn everything. Then you can go specialize somewhere else. You can do your thesis somewhere else, and this is one case. And the second case is that we talked about Erasmus scholarships. They are
Yeah.
not for the master's program itself, but they will provide you financial support for your international internship, for your mobility in general. So that's the whole idea behind Erasmus. If you go somewhere, depending on the country and depending on the expenses, they're going to give you an amount of money which will cover some of your expenses. Um, and did you guys decide on anywhere you want to go, or is the
So
corona
yeah,
limiting you for now?
like after your exams, like Professor Heidi, the head of the program, she would like have an interview with you, like person by person, and like she would ask you where do you want to go, and like I chose a place, but we're still to confirm. So like
Yeah.
I wouldn't mention thing until we confirm it. And also like the corona crisis would sometimes not allow you that you take like that you have international mobility or take like an internship abroad. So there was this exception that this time you can have a long internship in Belgium. But like I would really like to like see how like to push it a little bit. Like see, I want to have a more European experience, and this was very
Yeah.
important. This was stated from day one. Professor Heidi would tell you like we want to give you like the experience as European as it can be. Like yes, she wouldn't allow international mobility first year because like she would say something like I have to trust your basics and
Yeah.
like after if you passed all the courses in the first year you can
Yeah.
trust your basics. Just don't worry.
So there are some conditions for you to be able to have this international mobility, which is, I think, for the case of exchange, getting 13 out of 20, and for the case of the international internship, you have to pass all your courses. Uh, they can make exceptions in special cases, but the general condition is that you pass all your courses, and then you can go for the summer. Um, Another point about the places that you can go to is that B-PHOT is known for its strong network, as well as Ghent. They have a lot of collaborations with companies, with research groups, with different universities, and they have a list that you can actually look at and say, okay, I want to go to the University of St. Andrews, I don't know, Barcelona. Yeah, you like a university, you know a group, you want to go work with them, you want to go to a company and actually do an internship. They have the network that they can offer you, as well as you can actually come up with your own ideas. Okay, I want to go to this certain university and do my internship or do my exchange semesters there. So it's also very important to know. But again, going back to the money, a lot of different scholarships, a lot of different choices. So how has this scholarship how has this scholarship affected your lifestyle from when you were in your own countries?
Lot.
Yeah?
Well, like
Your studies, your lifestyle, everything, your focus.
I guess everything I'm really now independent financially, which is really something important. It makes you in control of everything you want. Like you can now like follow a certain diet, for example. You can, yeah, do stuff, and like living alone is an experience in itself. I would say. Uh, and yeah, and now you're responsible. You're more responsible about your expenses, your stuff. This makes it this makes like this deepens the experience more. That's, I would say. But yeah, but I guess now my lifestyle has drastically changed. Like not drastically in a bad way, but in a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
way. Uh,
Yeah, it changes a lot. Now you're living independent and
and in an
yeah,
international city with all these people, yeah,
yeah.
it's really nice, I would say. Go
How
ahead,
about
Ro.
you, Rohan?
Yes. So for me, okay, I have a sweet tooth for chocolates, and Belgium is known for chocolates.
Oh
Ah,
my God,
you're at the
I
right
got some
place.
from. Yeah, there is a lot of good chocolate in here, like Cote d'Or. Yeah.
So a good portion of scholarship money is going for chocolates, and the other is to yeah for the errands. Yeah, but if I were to compare my expenses here with the Indian expenses, I would say just that it's more or less the same, but I'm spending a little more in terms of the currency, the value.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So your lifestyle has not changed that much. Like
Yeah.
whatever you were doing in India, you're doing here, but the only difference is that you're paying in euros here.
Yes, that is true.
All right. So it depends on the person. Even the expenses depend on the person. I have a friend that eats out every day. Like he has to actually get more financial support from his family on top of the scholarship because, yeah, eating out every day is expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
They
You
don't know
cook.
how to cook. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to learn to cook before you arrive if
Yeah,
you
you
want to
have to
control
learn
your
it.
expenses. Yeah. Yeah. Now I get to prepare some food. Yeah,
That's
really good food.
nice.
Just like for the upcoming students, when you arrive, I'll just prepare you some good Middle Eastern food.
Oh, that's a
And
nice
for
offer.
the Indian students, learn to make paneer tikka masala because that will help you engage with the international audience much better than anything.
Amazing point. Amazing comment. But let's say you didn't get the scholarship, then what was the plan? You said something about the external scholarships and so on. Let's say you didn't get the money from anywhere to come to this program. Then what was your plan?
Uh, for
Did you have
me,
a plan?
Yeah. Yes, there was a
That's
plan.
important.
The plan was basically to stay in Egypt and try to work in the industry there in the electronics, from my original concentration. But I really wanted photonics. And actually when I came here, I realized that it's not even what I'm thinking about. Like I had a certain, let's say, vision or image of what the photonics field is covering, but actually it's much broader than what I thought.
Yeah,
uh, in the first semester you start to realize that, oh my god, the research is really wow, sorry. The research is really broad.
yeah,
uh, and like it's really a perspective changer, arriving here in Brussels, starting the program, and the program is also giving you more insights. His the It's moving you. They want you to have business aspects, stuff like that, entrepreneurial perspective, stuff like this.
yeah.
This is all. It's a perspective changer. Even if you don't want to work if you don't want to make a startup, for example, it's
Yeah,
okay. But you will be more aware of what's going on in the region, in
yeah.
like how the economy works, how stuff like that
Amazing
goes on.
point.
Very interesting. You have an idea about this. I had an idea about this back in Egypt, but not that involved, I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and I wouldn't have like the privilege of being involved in the photonics community this much. I would probably have been like, for example, a layout engineer or a digital engineer, something like this.
Yeah. How about you, Rohan?
Yes, for me, it would have been okay. So my first priority would have been to get external funding. If that would have been possible, great. If not, I could have gone for a student loan, which is quite frequent. A lot of Indian students take loans.
On
So
your home side or in Belgium?
no, from India. So I
Ah,
would have taken a student loan in India and studied for 2 years,
so
and
you
then
were intent to come here, like you wanted to come here any way you could.
I consider the loan as kind of a funding.
All right.
If that would not have worked, I would have found a job as an optical design company,
Yeah.
most probably a startup. Tried to got some money and
That's,
then apply.
yeah. So you guys had like a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, E, F, G to Z. That's amazing. Great. Um, so you guys made the application and so on, but now after a year, you know more about the program, you know more about the professors, the application process, everything. Um, Now, what would you say that was your strongest point in your application? So for the audience, it's their opinion. It's not something that is shared with the admission committee. It might be, but I'm just asking Rohan and Seif's opinion about this. So what do you think was your strongest point on your application?
For me, it was my research exposure. So I did a 3 month internship where I worked very closely with lasers and microscopes and photonics in general. So and that was my motivator to get into the field.
Yeah,
And so my experience, my exposure to research, and my strong motivation that was reflected in my application, and I feel that is the strongest part of my application.
yeah. How about you, Seif?
For me, I guess like there are two factors. The two are more related to my education. One is because like I had some courses that are closely related to photonics. So I had a photonics, an introduction to photonics course, an introduction to nanophotonics course,
Yeah,
a waveguides course. This one, and the other thing is the performance of our alumni in the program. We have a lot of alumni who come to the program, and they
yeah,
have performed quite well. There is Mahmoud Khidr, there is Ahmed Fawzi Qandil, and like I guess
yeah,
before them there were other people. So
yeah,
I believe the performance also have promoted the position, and have
yeah.
promoted also a joint program as well. So,
Yeah,
so I guess these are these were like the strongest points in
that's
that.
amazing. So you think that the popularity, in addition to what exactly? So
Yeah,
just the popularity of your university as well as
the education, the courses
your education.
yeah. Like
But,
the tuition was very
yeah. So it's important that you know what photonics is if you want to actually apply for this program. But if you still don't know it, but you're in a related field, for instance, in physics, in I don't know, electronics, you still can apply for this program, and you might be admitted depending on your enthusiasm, depending on what you know, how good you are, and so on.
And
So
actually, yes, I want to add something in this
yeah,
position. Like there are courses in the first semester, for example, that if you are a physics student, you will like it. Like you will grasp more. And I would, for example, go to my physics colleagues, physics background colleagues,
yeah,
and ask them what does this mean? I got a decent introductory course as well, but
yeah,
not in depth. And yes, especially in the optical materials course. So the department that's giving the courses, it's an applied physics department, the tuner department, and
yeah,
there is also the AFI department. It's an applied physics department as well. So it's very involved with physics as well. So physics, engineering, physics, and electronics. I was very, to be honest, I would say that my program has prepared me very well to the master. So yes, like whatever the field, even like we have, I guess, nanochemistry, I guess, backgrounds in the program as well. So I don't know. Am I still connected? Do you hear me?
Yes, I do hear you.
I guess Arash is not connected.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah. How about you?
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I got disconnected for a moment.
It's I guess
Sorry.
like your video is still the same at my
Really?
yeah, you can, I guess you
Now
can
you,
close the camera and get.
I'm not moving. I can see myself moving.
You can stop your camera and then
Yeah, I
How
can.
about now?
frozen.
Frozen.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
nothing much I can do. It's on Microsoft. Sorry, guys.
Okay, now you can
I hope I'm not that ugly in the picture. Oh, now
No,
moving?
you're handsome. I will just
All right. Thanks.
open the camera again. I guess it will be all right now. Try now.
Um, okay. I hope now it works, but otherwise, if it doesn't,
Yes.
yeah,
Right.
okay, perfect. So, where were we? What were we saying?
So his background has prepared him for
Oh yeah,
engineering.
yeah.
So like
But
whatever
we
your
have,
background is, and we have
yeah,
nanochemistry backgrounds. So like if you have a good foundation in physics, a good physics foundation, just apply. It would be.
exactly. Yeah. So from whatever background you are, you're welcome here. And yeah, we are also from different backgrounds. A lot of people come from engineering. I come from physics. A lot of friends are coming from physics. So a lot of different fields. Like even I've heard people came from mechanical engineering. So they were interested in photonics, did something in photonics, and they were admitted here. So depends on your interests and what you've done and your enthusiasm. Um, but let's get away from the program for a moment and say, what did you do in the first months that you came here? Like, how was your experience? Did you experience a culture shock or something? What was different for you? How was it?
So coming from a developed country seems like a fancy place.
Yeah,
Yeah, the roads, the buildings, they are like really fancy to me.
yeah,
To be
yeah.
honest.
A
And
different architecture, right?
yes, a
That's
new
really good.
style of architecture.
Yeah.
Um, and yes, I the day I arrived was sunny, surprisingly, and the next 15 days were
You're
totally
lucky.
cloudy.
All right.
And I had no idea where the sun is. So my geometrical compass was, my biological compass was messed up.
Yeah.
But now I got the hang of it.
All right. All right. That's good.
Yeah, like actually, when I first came here in October, like I came on a sunny day as well. Like just it was an exception, and then like they were. Brussels is like the weather is really changing. Like you can
Yeah,
like so for
exactly.
example at 12 p.m. you would have for example sunny at 3 p.m. raining and like at 4 p.m. okay clear okay should I do something now it's
Yeah,
it's really yeah Brussels is really crazy with the weather and like yes you would lose the sun a lot of time also like sometimes like you would wake up at 8 a.m. and like the lecture is about to start and you can't find the sun it's still dark I would
yeah,
like I come from Egypt the sun rises up at like 5:30 or 6:30 what are we doing I would go out
yeah.
like in the kitchen I would go like open the the windows and like where did you put the sun? Where is the sun? Yeah, I would go out and like just where's the sun, guys? So
Yeah, and sometimes when you get back, there is no sun anymore.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah, when you get back home.
yeah, but I had my first experience with snow in Brussels. Like yeah, my first snow experience. Actually, it was like it was a while after Rohan came, I guess. Yeah, like we had like a week of snow. Like it started, it was fun, and we like throw each other with stuff and everything. But like
Yeah,
after 4 days, you can't even get down to get to the grocery because like it's -10 down there. I'm not used to this.
yeah, it got really cold this year.
Yeah, but really, Belgium is really like. I guess this is something about Europe in general. It's you can feel the I come from Egypt. We're 5,000 years old. I know, but
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, there is also an antiquity in like
yeah, it has. Yeah, a lot of culture in Europe as well.
exactly.
Everywhere you go is different, different architecture, different people, different ideas and ideologies.
Yeah, and this would
Um,
would
yeah,
raise very interesting conversations. I guess we had some together, like the three of us.
of course,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
But for the people who are going to join our program, the applicants, future students, hopefully, do you have any additional remarks or comments? If you wanted to say something to them, what would you say?
Go ahead, Rohan. You start.
Okay, to the future students, I would say if you like photonics, if you like engineering, and if you want to know the global market and economy and where you can contribute to photonics, come and do this master's program, and you will know how you can contribute to the field. You will know how you can maximize your potential through this program.
Um,
Amazing.
I would add to this that well, like whatever you think photonics is, you will find it's more in here. It's broader. You can find things that you have never seen, and you think you have studied very well and you covered everything, but no.
Yeah,
This is a thing. Also, there is this thing that motivation is important. Resilience is important because the program is not a ride in the park. It's stressful. It's big. It's intense. You find yourself in the first year taking like after you finish looking back, you'd find that you have taken like 14 courses or 13 courses, which is a lot. It's a ton of courses,
yeah,
and not all of them are easy. Not all of them you can't get the grade like this. And there is as well, I would say there is a change in culture in the examination style, for example, stuff like this.
yeah,
This can be pretty stressful at first, but like from I guess from the overall experience, I guess Rohan would agree with me that just go. Even in the exams, we had a lot, for example, of colleagues. They were a bit stressed that they don't want to have an interview, a personal interview with the doctor, but they were really nice. You would have a lot of at first you would have like a psychological barrier, but just go.
yeah,
Uh, so like these are parts of it you have to consider, but it's a real perspective changer.
yeah,
I would if you are interested in photonics, if you are like from whenever and you want to have a job in photonics in the industry in whatever, just go for the program. It's
yeah.
important, I believe. Yeah.
Amazing notes. Um, Two things that you said came very interesting to me. Firstly, that most of our exams are oral, and you have to actually go and sit with your professor and talk about your results. But the good part about it, like, it's stressful, of course, but the good part about it is that if you get anything wrong, you are not going to lose score for it, because you're going to talk about it. You're going to say and show what you know.
Yeah, actually, like in
Yeah?
the microphotonics exam, for example, I would say like I didn't even complete all the like the theoretical questions, but I could explain them pretty well. So like he would ask me anything, I would give him the explanation about it. Yes, I should have done this in this step, and he would consider that I have done it because I understand it. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so yeah, and they're really helpful. Like when you're a bit stuck, they would point out where you're stuck. So like they know that this is new to you,
Exactly.
and they will put it in consideration. They'll put it in mind.
Yeah.
They won't judge you. They just want to know your score, your grade, just to
The
like
depth of your knowledge.
exactly.
And the
Yeah.
professors actively try to support and guide us throughout the semester, be it with any doubts we have, with any help we need, extra guidance, and even at the exams, which is quite surprising because in the Indian system, there is no feedback during the exam. So,
Oh,
No,
yeah.
there is a lot of feedback. It depends on the course, of course, but there is a lot of feedback to be honest. Especially as let's say the harder the subject is, the more the professor will be considerate with
Yeah.
you. I'd say Professor Verschaffelt was very considerate in the exams.
Yeah.
Like he knows he knows it's the content is big, the subject is hard, so he would help you through it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a very important aspect of our program that everybody listens to the students. So you have a problem in the course, the professor will listen. You have something to discuss with the program director, she has time for you. You have a secretary for the educational part, which is the program itself. And before you come here, she's going to be in contact with you, in touch with you all the time. She's going to make sure that it's a smooth transit for you from your country to here. So all the time you have all the support in the world that you want, both
Actually,
at Jugend
yes.
and here. So it's a
I would
very
say
important.
that like the fact that the program director, for example, has time to interview every student for their microphotonics project, or that the photonics project is given by someone like Professor Bergman's, and he would give you time, everyone, to examine him or her and see if he or she understands the concepts. Uh, it says something. It says that they're giving you time. These people have a lot of research background, have a lot of work to do, but they
Yeah.
still give every student an interview alone to assess their knowledge. They would make. I remember Professor Bergman's made like I don't know. I can't even count the Q&A sessions that he made after the content was finished, just to answer our questions, even if they were from early stages. Like he would explain chapter one in, I guess, I don't know, like July or something. No, not July. I guess September. I don't remember the month. But like he would give you a Q&A and answer your questions about this chapter in January, and then yeah,
Yeah.
they're just so.
That's great to hear. Um, so we are at the end of the interview and we want to look at future. Have you guys chosen your thesis topics yet?
I
so
have. Yeah, go ahead.
we're supposed to pick our thesis topic in July, and we're in March right now. So we have no idea which thesis topic we will have. But
Yeah.
from the interaction with the professors, we have a general idea of what the professors, what is the field of work of each professor. So we can decide, okay, we want to work either in lasers or in with microphotonics or something like that.
Yeah. So there are different research tracks, and with the student chapter, you can get a lot of information about the PhD students, about the research that is going on at B-PHOT, and Ghent also has a student chapter that has the same thing, and you get to know people and contact them and talk to them. And after, as you said, your second semester is done, you see opportunities and you take them to do your thesis later on in the fourth semester. But a very, very important ending to this interview would be, where do you see yourselves in the future? Let's say 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah,
What
the
do you
interview
think
test,
you will be doing?
the interview test, yeah, where do you see yourself in 5 years,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. After
like
1 year being here, not
yeah,
1 year, but in the second semester you are. So where do you see yourself after knowing all this stuff, getting familiar with all this stuff?
so I guess the first time you choose, like you take a shift, is like when you're sitting with Professor Hedi and she's telling you where do you want to go. So now you might be like research oriented. I guess Rohan is research oriented. For me, I'm industry oriented. But I'm open to all options, to be honest. Like I don't know what the future carries, but I'm not worried. So there is this thing, like for example, in the applications periods when you're graduating, you don't know what the future is holding, but you're concerned, you're very worried. But for me, to be honest, at this stage, I'm not worried, but I'm open. I have chosen an industrial path. I hope it works. If it doesn't, I guess I will continue with research. Uh, I'm open to options, and it's interesting. As long as I'm enjoying my work, I'm happy. I'm okay with it.
That's great. So you want to go to industry. How about you, Rohan?
So I'm inclined towards academia, and I plan to pursue a PhD, but I'm not sure if I should pursue the PhD right after the master's program, or should I get some experience at an industry, see the environment, the working environment, and if I like the industry, I stay there,
Yeah,
and if if I feel that I could contribute more to photonics through academia, yeah, I'll try for a PhD.
that's a great idea to experience and then choose. Well, thank you guys so much for all the information and your, let's say, insight into the program. After all your time here, you told our audience, you told the future students and the applicants what you've experienced, what you've seen so far. And I really appreciate it. And I'm sure that the director and the head of the group, the research groups, and so on, will all support this, and we'll be grateful for all you've done. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
goodbye.
I hope it's helpful to the guys who are like coming to the VB. I hope it's helpful.
For sure it will be. For sure it will be. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, bye.